Let's start talking about textures maps. Texture maps are textures, bitmaps with information for the shading. Usually, to create a realistic shading, the most common textures are the base color, textures with the color informations for the mesh, metals, black and white image information, black being non-metallic in objects and white being metallic. Specular map, there's a grayscale information for highlight intensity, and closer to the white, brighter the highlight. Roughness, there's a grayscale information for how rough or smooth the surface is. For roughness, white is really rough and black is really smooth. And glossiness is the inverted color for the roughness. Blender uses roughness. If you're working in Blender and you got a closeness map, you can use an invert to invert the color and it's gonna be the same. In normal maps, there are color informations to add details to the surface without adding polygons. Sometimes the game industry used to bigger shapes to save memory. I know it's kinda hard to understand, but I will explain it. So what is a normal? A normal is a representation for the polygon surface orientation, alright? So each face has a normal. A normal is this blue line going out from the face. This blue line is a vector that points out from the face and tells how the light and shadow should work on the face. Each face has a normal in it. But with the normal map, we can map how those normals are gonna behave. The light is bouncing here normally, like a smooth surface, but when we put all these details from the normal map, it's gonna create fake shadows and fake bouncing lights all over the mesh. So we take all those normals, we make the normal behave differently from the usual normal that points out from the face orientation. So let's go to the Blender, to our battery. So we stop it here, alright? And we have two ready maps for our battery, the color one and the metallic one. And I'm gonna show you how we can add those textures in our material. Let's go back to layout, workspace. Now I'm gonna bring this up and change the timeline for a shader editor. Alright? Now we have the material here, call it UV test. We don't want that material. Let's close it and create a new one, call it battery. So we're gonna use image textures for our textures map, of course. Let's press Shift A to add a new node, or we can go up here, of course, as always. But let's use the shortcut. Let's press Shift A, we go to the texture and image texture. Alright, we'll not click the new one, we'll click open and we'll put here the battery underscore BC, base color. Let's click and drag in the color node to the base color. Now it's not showing up anything now. We need to change the visualization from the viewport. Alright, let's click in the material preview here in the viewport shading. And it's kind of messy, it's kind of all over the place, but we're gonna change that in a bit. Alright, we can click in some node and press Shift D to duplicate it. And we have right now the same texture in those two nodes. We will close it and open the battery underscore M for metallic. Alright, let's click and drag the color from the battery underscore M to the metallic. Again, it's all over the place right now, it's not working properly, but we're gonna make this work as intended. So for that to work, we need to place our UVs in the right spot, alright? Let's get the mouse to the corner here, click and drag to divide, and let's go to the UV editor. Let's click in the battery and go to the edit mode so we can see the UV. And here we're gonna see that battery underscore M texture is loaded up here. We can click in the battery BC in the shade node, so we can change here. So let's see what's going on right now. The cylinder shape, the main shapes from our battery, is pointing upwards, okay? As we can see, the plus sign is up and the minus sign is down here. We will go to the island selected mode. Let's click on the main island. Let's press Ctrl E to invert selection and move outside. Let's go here. We're gonna scale and position this island, this big square island, the way we want. Alright, so let's scale it down and move a little bit, so it's something like this. Alright, we can turn off the overlays so we can see better what's going on with the UV and the mesh. Alright, I think that's good enough. Let's select this one to see. That's the top one. Alright, so the top one we're gonna position something right here. We can scale it up a little. Okay, that's good. This one is the bottom one. Alright, it is. You can move to here and keep inside the blue part. Alright, and we have all this. All these informations are this top one, this detail on the top. Alright, we're gonna grab all this and put inside this white part here on the top. Alright, let's put it in here. Alright, okay, let's click in battery underscore M so we can see, yes, what is white is gonna be metallic and what is black is gonna be non-metallic. The battery is this part that is not covered up metallic, and this part that is covered up non-metallic. Alright, so we have this right now, and we can make the roughness really low so we can see that up here is metallic, other parts are non-metallic, down here is metallic. Alright, we have those two textures applied in our shader. In the next class, we're gonna talk about procedural textures.